So now we're moving into competency module 3. This is where you're going to start to move into the digital realm, so to speak. Now you're allowed to approach the computer and actually use software to start to begin to build your interfaces. But at this point, before we get into that, is sort of establishing that, okay, we've looked at defining user goals, uncovering problems, fleshing out scenarios, and looked at various sort of interactive behaviors that we might want to incorporate within our particular solution or product. Now what we want to do is take those ideas, move into the computer using a software design program of choice, and begin to create what's called a wireframe, or a series of wireframes, which is a digital representation, sort of a mock-up at a very low fidelity. Design fidelity. Think of a skeleton structure, sort of a lot of lines and boxes and words and annotations and things like that, representative things on the screen, or things I should say that represent various user interface elements on the screen. And by its very nature, creating wireframes lends itself to very quick, rapid iterations through different versions of the screens that you're developing. And the whole reason for this, moving into this next level of design fidelity in the prototyping stage, is to begin to actually flesh out what are these actual website screens, mobile app screens, whatever it might be. What are they actually going to look like? What is a series of screens going to be, or a screen flow, for instance, is a user going to encounter when they're using this particular product? And then what are the different things that I need to account for? What are the different steps, interim steps? What are the, is a modal window going to pop up, a dialog box of some sort? What's going to happen when the user clicks on this, that kind of thing. Again, we're not getting into actual interactivity yet, but we're in the planning stages, so that as we begin to build out these screens, these wireframes, we can visualize very clearly what it is that we're presenting to the users, and we can begin to sort of refine that process before we, in those particular artifacts, before we move into actually adding some interactivity to these wireframes, so that we can actually test them with users.